Go ahead.
The Motley Patriot here. We bring you history so you can sit on your couch and eat potato chips and watch stupid stuff on TikTok. But if you're on YouTube right now, you can have a good time. This is one of the original furnaces, and I believe it might have been the first furnace on the west side of the Blue Ridge. If it wasn't, it was in that first iterations of iron furnaces, and George Washington was involved in this. So right now we're standing at approximately where the beginning of a covered bridge would be. Now you said in order to get the mules to go out and dump, which would probably have been lime, because there was a lime quarry down the road, as I understood, lime, charcoal, and iron ore. And you were saying, what were you saying about the bridge, about that key up in there?
Yes, that's where the bridge went, and they had it covered. And somebody asked me once why they covered it, and that's because the mules didn't want to bring the carts up the bridge because it was too high in the air.
Interesting.
So when they closed it in, you couldn't tell how high off the ground he was.
And they didn't have mountain goats back then.
No.
So. Well, we're going to take a look at this furnace, and I will tell you the first thing that you're going to recognize, that cameras don't always give you scale. But as we walk to this, you'll walk along with us and get some dip going, because it's going to be fun. We're going to walk up to it. I'm Paul, by the way. Ricky. And Rick, yeah, you cannot come here without permission, so don't come wandering, because, you know, up here in the mountains of West Virginia, you just don't want to go wandering on property. I'm going to leave it right there. But anyway, we're going to take a look, and we're real happy that we have permission to take a look at this. So as we get closer, it really, the scale of this is just incredible. Absolutely. So, you know, the guns that fought the Revolution, and heck, I've even got I got an old English Fowler musket. But as we get closer, and in the 1740s, it's a good question. A lot of Scots-Irish, or there's a lot of old Scots-Irish names in this part of the mountain, as I had seen. So it'll be interesting. We'll walk up. Go ahead.
I had somebody tell me that the house, the log cabin, was German style.
There you go. Well, and in Spotswood's area, it was the Germans that were learned in iron and mining and all. So that would make a lot of sense. So this would be has been referenced as being of a German-style cabin. Now, one thing they talk about that's interesting is when the doors go in the middle or they go on the side. There's a conversation about some cabins were walk-through, some were side pass-through. There's a whole science. I don't know much about it, but anyway, that's a neat old cabin up there. And let's take a look.
I think they said George Washington probably stayed in that cabin.
Yeah, did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say he stayed there.
Wow. Well, you can bet if George Washington stayed there, there's probably about 50 women out here wanting to meet him, because he was tall and handsome, I'm told. But as we get closer, I think you're going to be struck by the scale of this. Good Lord. Here we go.
Oh, gosh.
It's not really that big.
You gotta keep on
This
back.
is the short side.
Yeah, this is the short side. Come on down around.
That's the short side.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Wow.
Holy moly.
They didn't do a lot of lollygagging in the 1700s, did they?
No.
Wow, and you've been maintaining this, taking down trees and all? Yeah, that's a lot of work. Yep.
Yeah, I hate to see it just fall to the ground.
So there would have been a sand bed underneath here that would have rolled out a channel where the iron would have come through, and then it rolled out to these little things called pigs. And then hence the pig irons, because they look like little pigs suckling on a little piglet suckling on a pig. So if you think about how much iron and how much of America's foundation came from this, now that lentil up there, that's actually pretty substantial. That's an old iron lentil. I wonder if that's original. It might be.
It might be.
But 1740 is the date. And, oh, wow. Ain't that something? Yep, lentil up in the back, too. Boy, if this thing came down, you wouldn't be long for this world, would you? Oh, look at that. Now, can I see that real quick? So, just to sort of give you, so you have a fire flue here. Now, one of them was for the flue, but then there was other channels that were for where the oxygen would be blown in. And
Around the corner.
around the corner, there would have been a bellows And there is a creek that comes down here. There's a confluence up about a mile up of two pretty good sized creeks up in Shannondale. And then they come along. I guess they would have routed water, what, through here somewhere?
Yeah, because it used to be a water wheel on the here that ran the bellows.
Good Lord. The scale of this thing is incredible. Yeah, it is, yeah, technical term, ginormous. Anyway, let me show you this picture right here. I wanted you to see this because as you look through, oh my Lord, and that's where all the stuff would come in. Have you seen any rattlesnakes and copperheads?
No, but I've seen some skins hanging around.
I bet you have. No one's ever done a dig on this, have they? Wow. Really something. So I'm going to back up a bit,
You really do have
give
to
you a
back
sense.
out a long ways to get the scale. Yeah, you have to go way back.
Walk up to that, Sarah, real close.
And then the machines that put them rocks up there.
No, the machine was human ingenuity.
That's right.
Well, and that gives you a sense. Good Lord. I'm still walking back.
If they can talk.
If those stones could talk, they'd say, get them mules and get this furnace going.
That's it.
We got a country to build. So right here is what built this country, and I guess this would be the continuation where the water that was routed away, I would imagine from up in there somewhere in that swale. But who knows, they might have wooden. There it is.
This is where the water would go down through.
There it is, goes back to the Shenandoah. Anyway, Motley Patriot, more history for you so that you don't sit around in ignorance wondering how the heck you got that iPhone. It began here. Anyway.
It certainly did.